If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Ill-fated words I will choke.
Happy Friday, football frenzy to everyone in the sports universe. This is the AM Drive on our Twitter and YouTube pages. Aaron Crouch, it has been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. But I'm here. Happy New Year to you. 13 days late.
Right, Friday the 13th day late. Good Lord.
Oh, damn. I didn't even think about that. Uh-oh.
It's just having so much no one thinks about it. I just want to say I am one of the few, the proud, the Colts fans.
Marines.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. We are presented by our website, MikeandAaronDrive.com. It's a great link tree with our shop sponsors, socials, and YouTube in one happy little morning show place. Aaron, you ready to talk some football?
Is there football still left?
There's a pretty big weekend coming up, I'd say.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's not only a wild card weekend, it's a super wild card weekend.
We don't care. No, I've never cared for that term.
Well, it's only been 1 year, I think.
Ever since they coined it, it's like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like we already have the Super Bowl. They can't all be super NFL. Come on, let's go.
Super divisional. Why isn't divisional round super? That's not fair.
Yeah, why is the conference champions not super? They're way more important than the wild card round.
They can be extravagant. Who knows? Moving on.
Week 8.
Right, hey, that'd be good. Coaching decisions. The Texans have axe emoji love. I kind of like axe emoji better than peace sign. I depends on like what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's the different coach. But no, Texans got rid of Lovey. Aaron, dare I say you called it before the season even started?
I felt like he was a one-hit wonder when they hired him. Like, it just didn't make any sense. I mean, no disrespect to Lovie Smith. I know he went to a Super Bowl with Chicago, or he took Chicago to a Super Bowl, but like, you fired Culley after 1 year, and what I don't understand is if you felt like, Lovie was just a stopgap, like, why did Culley get fired in the first place? Like, now you're on the hook you're on the hook paying 3 coaches. You have Culley, Lovie Smith, and whoever else you bring in, which I've thought at this point the only reason they would fire Lovie Smith is if they could bring in a big gun as far as a coach, like Jim Harbaugh or Sean Payton, which I don't think they knew at the beginning of last year when they hired Lovie, or if they maybe had some thoughts that, Sean's going to take 1 year off and then we'll just hire Lovie to fill in. But it's just, I never thought Lovie's hiring made sense in the first place. So therefore the firing doesn't surprise me, but it's not a good look for your organization, whoever you are, to have 2 straight one-and-done coaches and to have 2 straight one-and-done black coaches.
Yeah, I was waiting for that point. I was wondering about. That's not, especially with their history, it is not a good look at all.
Correct. And if they go ahead and bring in Sean Payton at $15 to $20 million a year, it's just a bad look optically. I don't have a problem with them doing it because I never thought Lovie Smith was going to be around long anyways. But, with David Culley and then Lovie back to back, look, I get it. You can hire whoever you want. It's your organization. And if you want to pay these guys after they're long gone, that's your decision. But, it's a tough look. And I think if they're going to do all this just to go get like Eric Bieniemy, like they could have had him last year. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless they're getting a big splash hire. So we'll see.
Texans going to text. Cardinals have fired Cliff Kingsbury. I was on record, last Tuesday and then this Monday with Sammy. That's the last 2 shows I've done. Holy cow. But I've been on record saying he was going to bite the bullets for Kyler Murray. And I thought it was a stupid move to fire him because I thought from even before the season, I'll let you go, but like before the season, like we saw that Kyler had like in the contract, it said don't be lazy, basically. And he's like, oh, that's racist. And now it's Cliff's fault. Like, why would the organization view that as Cliff's fault? They underachieved. That's all Kyler right now. What is Cliff supposed to do with I don't understand. I cannot understand. Maybe enlighten me on this.
I don't know if I have any enlightening for you with this firing. I out of all of the ones that have happened, this one is the most shocking to me, but it doesn't mean it's super shocking. He took the bullet because you knew one of the three did. The GM just got an extension. Kyler just got an extension. So you knew Cliff was the odd man out. And, they're tied to Kyler at this point. And
yeah, because he sells tickets and that's it.
yeah, for better or for worse, they're tied to Kyler. And you got to see, now that you've signed him long term, and it seemed like Cliff and Kyler were kind of connected with the hiring and the draft, but they don't really seem like they've like meshed too well. Don't forget, like the only reason they know each other is because Kyler was at Texas Tech for like a small amount of time. It's not like he's not like Lincoln Riley is coming in to be the coach with who made Kyler a trophy candidate.
I know USC makes a lot of money, but you got me thinking about Lincoln Riley in the NFL all of a sudden. I know it never works with
he's not
coaches.
going yet. If he goes at all, it's not for another 5 years.
Oh, I know. Also, the money's insane now. But with Kyler, what makes me even angry about this is I rooted for Kyler hard pre-draft. I thought he was at a great arm, and it's all up here. I don't see he's got the talent. We saw it last year in flashes where he was like there was like MVP candidate concerns, just like Carson Wentz, just like Derek Carr, a flash in the bottle. Like, is this all he is because of up here? I don't know what's going on here. So I'm not happy with him.
I've kind of been turned off by him ever since the Dan Patrick interview before the draft. So I'll say this with a grain of salt. Kyler, nobody cares that you play Call of Duty, first and foremost. Like, nobody cares that you do it, but it seems like because you don't perform well, like there's other quarterbacks and players in the league that play video games. We know that. Right. It's a big thing in that generation. Yeah, but they perform and they do their homework, so to speak. They do what it takes to be successful on Sundays. You just don't seem to have that extra gear to want to study, to want to be a better football player. And you've publicly said that too. So that's why people are on you. I mean, the video games is just an easy thing to pick on you about. But you don't seem to want to be the best version of a quarterback, and that's why people aren't in your corner. And that's why your job has to put in a study clause, because they don't feel like you take your job seriously, and they're giving you a lot of money to do so.
Right. It's spoiled brat at this point. I don't like it. Quickly, which job of the Colts, Texans, Cardinals, Broncos, Panthers, Colts, I said it twice. Okay, I'm sorry, is most appealing? I'll go first here. I'm going to go with either the Panthers because of the division, or I'm going to go with Broncos because I'd like to think Russell Wilson has not as bad of a year as he had this past season.
I'm really shocked that you said those two. Actually, I don't think the Panthers are a good destination as it currently stands because they have no quarterback.
Matt Corral's on ice, to be fair.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. I don't know if he's the answer. I would have said, actually, to be honest with you, if you're an offensive-minded guy who can connect with Kyler Murray, I think the Cardinals' job is appealing. The division's not as tough, especially if Sean McVay leaves. And of course, San Francisco is formidable, but I think it's your Colts. I think if they can strike gold and find a quarterback, they got bitten by the injury bug a lot this year.
Our defense is really good, and we have three good running backs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think. I mean, of these five, it's. I mean, and let's be honest. Like, let's not say we're finding a golden nugget in this. I mean,
none of them are sexy. That's a good point.
They're all incredibly flawed right now. I mean, the Texans. I can see the only thing appealing about the Texans is that they have the number 2 overall pick right now. I mean, their ownership is suspect. They got a new GM that just came in. and there's really just nothing in the cupboard. Davis Mills all the way down to, I couldn't even name you 2 defensive players on the Houston Texans right now.
That's a the Petrie guy just got named number 5. I think he's a safety or something like that. He just got named to all defense by the Draft Network for rookies. If that makes any sense to you. So and they have one good piece. That's it.
I mean, who's their good
Brandon
piece?
Cooks, I think, is going to be traded anyways.
Yeah, I mean, who's their good piece? Dameon Pierce, who flamed out at the end of the year. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
There's not much there. I mean, I think the Colts and Cardinals would be the most appealing, but like I said, let's not act like we just found a diamond in the rough here. That's going to have to be. It's going to have to be on the coach to figure it out. So yeah,
that's a fair point. Let's get to what should they do. NFL draft thoughts. First of all, I know the Bears are up there toward the top. I love draft season because there's like speculation. Like every lost mock draft has like 5 trades. I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? I believe the Bears are going to be able to run Justin Fields because I think it's foolish not to. You have a defensive-minded coach. Like I think I've told you that before. It doesn't make no sense to draft a quarterback. Bryce Young's my favorite player. Have you heard of Deuce Vaughn, the Kansas State guy who's 5'6"?
No. Who is this? He's a quarterback?
He's a running back. Oh God, the quarterback 5'6". That would be bad.
That's why I was like, how does that work?
This guy was only the only records he didn't break against Kansas State were because they were held by Darren Sproles, which is ironic that he's also short. This guy's 5'6" though, and not like 5'9". And I know like the Olmec knock-on, people got this year going in the 5th round. Aaron, when I tell you there is one other running back besides Bijan Robinson that is really electric, it's this kid Deuce Vaughn. In fact, after the show, I'm going to send you some videos of this guy. Kansas State became a run-first team with Adrian Martinez because of this 5'6" little monster. It's insane. I believe he was a Maxwell Award finalist, but Max Duggan won it, which is stupid.
Max Duggan did pretty well last year. So.
Deuce Vaughn was pretty good too.
It's fair. I mean, only one guy can win it. It doesn't mean that the other guys aren't as deserving. This draft,
looks like a little linebacker. It's insane. Go ahead.
I don't know. To me, this draft feels like it might be like last year. I felt like was a very suspect to boring draft. I think this one might be as well. I mean, I think you've got 5, maybe 6 players. Yeah, but the thing is in today's society, or in today's NFL, I guess you could say not society, but in today's NFL, when your draft is full of running backs and running backs are such a replaceable position, that doesn't make for a great draft. Maybe 15, 20 years ago, I think I would agree with you. But, I mean, to be honest with you, after like Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Bijan Robinson, and maybe Will Levis and Jordan Addison, like, I don't really care about the rest.
Oh, I don't either. That's why I pride myself on being first to everything, as you know. But
I mean, I go down the list, and like the only thing I really care about in the rest of the, like, if Anthony Richardson is being projected as a 1st or 2nd round pick, like I think this is a bad draft.
That's bad. I agree. I agree with that. Talk about a project. Draft. That's one of the worst.
Yeah, and I think he'll be the one to slide in this draft. I don't think he'll be drafted day 1 for sure. God, he is bad. I think he is bad.
It's like, yeah, unless you want to play wide receiver, we're not going to draft you day 1.
Right. So, I mean, again, and like you said, the Bears are at the top. They have the number 1 pick. You have 2 quarterbacks there that are going to move up and down the slide scale here. And I think they're the most interesting. Will Anderson's the can't miss. So I think for the Bears, it's either Anderson or they trade it.
I've heard of was it Javon or Jalen Carter, the big 88 defensive tackle.
Jalen Carter, yeah.
Jalen, he's supposed to be a beast too, but he didn't pop on tape too much for me.
I'm curious if Trayvon Walker's lack of a rookie year will affect how Jalen Carter goes.
That was where I was kind of heading with that too. If we have one more thing to get to before and it's pretty big before we get to our playoffs in the next segment. Derek Carr flat out quit on the Raiders. I'm just going to say it right now. And I know you're in Vegas. You may have your ear to the ground more than I do, obviously. But I know the season stunk. I've heard that Josh McDaniels might be a weird psychopath at this point from a little report that I read about Jay Cutler. Like I care. The point is, Raiders sucked it up. And I called it, but I'm to my own horn. Now Derek Carr just gives a goodbye Raiders post yesterday. It was heartfelt, but who cares? Aaron, do you think Derek Carr's some hot commodity that people got to have? Because I'm not sure about that.
Well, depends on how you define hot commodity. I mean, I think for teams in need of a quarterback, I think he's a quality starter that if you're – I mean, look at the Raiders team that went to the playoffs last year. They weren't anything to write home about. Obviously, you think on paper their team was more talented this year. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think a team like the Jets, potentially the Seahawks, although I'm curious what they're going to do with Chino this upcoming year. I mean, I know they have a bunch of first-round picks with the Russell Wilson trade, and there's some guys on the board here. Because I think with Russ, with the Broncos stinking, I think Seattle's going to be the first team in history to make the playoffs and also have a top 5 pick. So
Pete
to
Carroll,
see where that all
fingers.
shakes out.
Love it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you talk about your Panthers as well, being an appealing job. If they were able to get like a Derek Carr, I think it's not a terrible decision. For a new coach coming in to automatically have an established quarterback. I mean, he does have 2 playoff appearances. I know that's not anything like to be celebrating, but it's hard to find quarterback play. I mean, just ask Cliff Kingsbury.
Or
it's
ask
hard to find
my little baby Broncos over here. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to just touch on something you said, I don't think Derek Carr quit on the team. I think the team quit on Derek Carr, or they mutually did it to each other. I mean, when you basically deactivate him in the last 2-3 games of the year, like, yeah, stay home. I think the team would rather him stay home than have controversy, because every time Jarrett Stidham would do something wrong, they just panted Derek Carr on the sidelines. Like,
I know
you don't need that kind of
I
stuff.
didn't really hear him talked about the last 2 weeks, which is really crazy that you said that.
Well, yeah, he was deactivated. He was benched. So
so you're right. He got rid of the drama. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't going to play him. There's no reason for him to be the backup, stand there and be the backup for a season that was lost. So, yeah, they were done with him. They protect his injury because, God forbid, he does get injured. Then his trade value's out the water.
Or ask Lamar about contracts, yeah.
But he's not getting traded. Nobody's trading for him. They're going to wait till the Raiders cut him. So he's going to be on the books for the Raiders for a couple more years. But teams aren't going to trade for that big salary on Derek Carr. I think he's going to be almost in the 40s coming up next couple years.
They're stuck with him?
No, they can cut him, but they're going to be stuck with his cap hit.
Yeah. Ew. Maybe they stick with him. Who knows?
I think a lot of times when people talk about quarterbacks, no, there's only one Mahomes. There's only one Josh Allen. Like, there's probably 6 quarterbacks that you wake up in the morning if you're a head coach and you're like, man, I really feel good about my team just because of my quarterback. So that means there's 26 other teams that don't feel that way.
Well, then this year's not Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. How about that?
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Or Kirk Cousins, but I'll get to that. When we come back, we're talking playoffs. Yes, we are. And that meme will be used again on the show. It just was. We're right back to the AM Drive. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask.
It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
All right, welcome back to the AM Drive here on this Friday Football Frenzy, and we are presented by Fanatics. You see it, it's up in bright lights right above our heads. Fanatics. We are partnered with Fanatics here at the AM Drive, and what you have to do when you shop for the best in playoff NFL merchandise and apparel is go to mikeandaarondrive.com and do what?
Click the F.
You got to click that F. That's the most key of getting greatest deals from Fanatics and helping out the channel and AM Drive. We greatly appreciate it. The NFL, like I said, the playoffs are here. The NHL and NBA playoffs will be around the corner soon. All-Star games are here. Get your All-Star game stuff. But make sure that you do, when you do, you go to mikeandaarondrive.com, click that F, get shopping today, and help out the channel tremendously. And for that, we thank you.
Good morning. Okay. So welcome back to this Friday Football Frenzy. Yeah, it's a Friday Football Frenzy, Aaron. Come on, man.
Yeah, I've been a little under the weather the last couple of days, so
again?
Yeah, I just can't seem to. It's more like still. I just can't seem to shake this. Like,
it's funny how it's on the West Coast and the East Coast. That's insane.
Allergies and sinuses. They don't single out anybody. They run through everyone.
Is there a hurricane coming to California?
Yeah, I've read something about that. Like, I mean, I think they've had a couple. I've read about a couple that have happened in California, but it's not a common thing for them. So the world's getting weird. I'll tell you what.
Oh, the world's getting weird. Happy days for kids. Oh, all right, let's go to Seahawks and 49ers. The first game on Saturday. There's no graphic. You're just going to see it scroll across the bottom, by the way. New stuff. New tech. San Fran is favored by 10.5 in San Francisco. The total set at 42. Aaron, this is one of the games this weekend. I like your thought of 10-point game or 10-point spread. No way I'm picking that, or however you say that. I personally would like to think that Geno and the Seahawks have a little bit to play for. And I don't know if anyone knows this. This game almost plays out like the Falcons and Saints or the Ravens and Steelers do every single time they play, no matter who's playing. I'm going to go with the Seahawks plus 10.5. I think 49ers are going to win, though. Happy Brock Purdy.
Yeah, this one really, it's funny you mentioned Brock Purdy. This is all on his shoulders. Like, if he's playing well, which, I mean, we know he has been over the last 5 weeks, like this team, you might as well, I think you might as well just hand him the trophy now. It's such one that now that they're fully healthy, firing on all cylinders, they're the team to beat in the NFC. We obviously know that. I know they're not the number one seed. I get that, but they're just very formidable. But you're right. It's a big number. It's a division game and then a playoff. It's you got to be happy for Geno Smith, right? I mean, you got to be happy for what happened. You got to be. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I'm happy for Pete Carroll. Like all this, like Russell Wilson has just come out of all this looking like a complete fool.
A scumbag too.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm a Russ guy, but I gotta feel happy for the guys he left behind in his tracks. And do I think they're gonna win? No, I don't think they're a very good overall team, but they were good enough to get into the playoffs, and they started off hot, which was really where they needed to be. But I think the 49ers are going to roll this game. I really do. I mean, I think the 49ers are going to win this game by 17, 20 points. I don't see it close, even despite the division matchup and the familiarity. I just don't think the Seahawks have what it takes to beat this team. I really don't.
I mean, I definitely was thinking like it would be like a 9 or 10 point game, to be fair. I wasn't.
It totally could be. That's just my my prediction or my guess. I feel like, and it's actually in some spots gone down to 9.5. So.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely covering. I don't know. That sounds bad if I'm just going to go with the plus there. That was stupid of me. I always do that. I always buy half a point.
Oof. Don't do that.
Okay. I do want to say that Brock Purdy deserves a boatload of respect. I don't feel like he's even getting enough. Like Brock Purdy, if he'd started the whole season, would they be like the number 1 seed by far? Like this dude, I mean, he played at Iowa State and was not good. Like I never saw this guy looking like an NFL quarterback. I looked at like 5 or 6 of his games. I'm like, this guy's average at best. And he's the next Tom Brady.
And that's the other question. You have to, teams are going to now starting to get a little tape on him. He's going to play a playoff game, which obviously there's more pressure. Like, so let's see what happens with Brock Purdy here in terms of like, if he would have started the whole season, they'd be the number. I don't know about all that. Like, you do have to question like, ultimate system is Kyle Shanahan. I mean, no, Trey Lance hasn't looked good in it, but I mean, he makes Jimmy Garoppolo a winner, and so far Brock Purdy. I don't think Brock
was an MVP.
I think they've won 5 or 6 in a row. 6 in a row.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So I don't know, but let's pump the brakes on Brock Purdy before we're crowning him any of those things. But he does have a chance to really kind of get, for lack of a better word, immortalized if he can win a Super Bowl this year for sure.
I'm a fanatic, so that's why I overreact sometimes. Hey, good plug. Chargers, Jaguars, and what is one of the most controversial but also boring games of the week. Like, none of these teams are doing anything. I know people like to claim that Justin Herbert is that guy, but he is just simply not. Chargers are favored by 1 here. The total's at 48. These are 2 gambling sons of guns at coach, knowing Doug Peterson and what he's done in his play calling history, and of course Brandon Big Ball Staley. I know Sammy's all over the Chargers. I know Trevor Lawrence has been interestingly not good in the clutch this season. But Doug Peterson, I know Sammy says, well, they won their Super Bowl, last week. And that may be true. Give me the Jaguars. And that's not because they're at home, because I don't believe they have any home field advantage whatsoever, even if the Colts play. I don't care. I'm going to go with the Jaguars to win this game. So give me the +1. And the total is 48.
This one I kind of struggle with, and if we had pick'em wars, I think I'd be using my shaver on whichever team I decided to go with.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't disagree with Sammy in the sense that Jacksonville, them winning the division and hosting this playoff game is a great success for them.
Yeah.
LA, I think if LA loses this game, even though it's on the road, even though they didn't win the division, I do think this is a bad look for LA if they lose this game, because the Chargers should have been in the playoffs the last couple of years. You're right. Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. It should be advantage Herbert right now. But I'm with you, man. I think Jacksonville finds a really weird, gritty way to win. And I'm all about punishing Brandon Staley for playing his starters in Week 18 with literally nothing, no advancement. Like, he couldn't advance. He couldn't fall. He couldn't get a better seed. And then Mike Williams gets hurt. I think he deserves everything he gets, Coach Staley, at this point. And I hope that's a Jacksonville victory. And even if LA does manage to win, then just by getting the divisional round, then I think that's the successful season for them.
Well, wild card losses. Yeah. It's funny how the line is so thin right there, but I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
But don't forget, they were projected to win the West because Kansas City was going to fall off. So.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, it's true. On Sunday, there are 3 games, so let's get to them here. The Dolphins and Bills. Good luck, Skylar Thompson. Oh, my God. The Bills are 14-point favorites here. The total is at 43.5. Good. Aaron, this is the one I can't get. When Tua played this team healthy, the Bills won by a field goal, and the Bills... Josh Allen was crying on the shoulders of Tua Tagovailoa, saying, I am your son, you are my father. Okay, that's what he was whispering to the guy, per reports of Michael Carvelis. That being said, this game's a wash. It's not even fair. I feel sorry for Miami. I really do. I don't even think 14's close.
I agree with you, and I feel like, everything points to Buffalo minus. It's up to 14. I see 13.5. So pick the poison there, but
I mean 13.5. Good God, that's easy.
everything just seems like, the books are just going to get pounded with Buffalo money. It's like, if I'm a betting man, in a playoff game, I'm taking 14 points. I know it's Skylar
Right.
Thompson. I know it's probably not the best bet, but I just feel like I'm gonna live and die on the hill of having 14 extra points in my back pocket here. But yeah, I think Buffalo is it's a steam train for this one. You know, it's good for them to get this because they probably should have had the bye if they would have beaten Cincinnati and that whole debacle. So yeah, I think they'll get through it pretty easily. This is ripe for backdoor cover, in my opinion. And I don't know, have we officially had Teddy ruled out as well? Teddy Bridgewater. I know he had a
I looked at like they're automatically preparing for Skyler to be the starter, so I don't know why Teddy is not
right.
there.
I feel like Mike McDaniel might be the goofball enough to say, yeah, Skyler's going to start, and then WWE wrestling style, all of a sudden the lights go dark, and then
Saudi WWE.
Teddy Bridgewater shows up, like he's
Right.
the Lord and Savior. Yes,
It's funny we did
WWE.
LIV with that. We're gonna have to do a whole other year of segments on WWE now because of that. Just to let you know.
If we're not careful, the Saudis are going to own all our sports
Woo,
leagues.
they're gonna own us too. Shoot, my hands are.
I'm okay with that.
I'm here.
I'm okay with that.
That's fair.
They got deep pockets. I'm
That's
okay with
good. One more thing I'll say about the game, Aaron. I can make an argument. I don't want to do this now, but I can make an argument the Bills are the fifth best team if every quarterback is healthy. I'm in the AFC. I mean,
fifth best in the AFC.
Chiefs. Wow. Chiefs could beat them. Not just could beat them. Chiefs have beaten them last year. The Bengals were up 7-3, and I think that was an ugly 7-3 for the first 9 minutes or whatever. Dolphins got them once and almost got them again with Tua. Ravens got them until the fourth quarter. I could make an argument Bills are the fifth best team in the AFC, depending on how Josh Allen plays.
I mean, you can make an argument about anything. I get that, but I don't agree with you.
I don't know, man. I've got the tape on my side.
Isn't that the beauty of the NFL?
Yes, parody is a schmuck. Love it. Hey, let me get my good hat here. My winning hat. Here it is. Okay. Daniel Jones.
Becky with a good hat.
Yes, Daniel Jones and the New York Giants are 3-point underdogs against the Minnesota Vikings. The total's at 48. Superstition tells me, Mike, you're going with every favorite this week. Pick the underdog. Daniel Jones finishes off the Minnesota Vikings, who are the kings of the one and done in the 1-point possession. We don't care. We don't care. This team was down 33-0 to the Colts. So let me put that hat on again, too. How about that? So I've got the Giants to upset the Vikings.
Okay. If I had to pick a game I felt most confident in, and it doesn't mean it's a lock, but it feels like, I feel most confident in the Vikings taking care of the Giants next week on Sunday. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. I think Kirk Cousins comes in, Broadway Kirk, and they win this game by 10 points.
Gross. Take that back immediately. You still have time.
I don't feel confident about a lot of these games, but for whatever reason, I feel like the Vikings just get it done. Now, it doesn't mean the Giants will play poorly. I just think they're just going to get beat.
I'm depressed the rest of the show.
Sorry, buddy. It's okay. It's almost over anyway, so.
Right. Ravens, Bengals, Cincinnati's favored by 10.5. The total's at 40.5. Anthony Brown, this is bad. This is another one of those, like, really? But if I had faith in a team, I don't know if I'm more faithful in the Seahawks division. Of course, you have Geno. That helps me get the 49ers on the other side. I like to think Ravens cover this one, but I'm not sure. If it's Anthony Brown, is it Anthony Brown?
So far, it looks that way. Lamar is out. I mean, he's doubtful, but let's call it what it is.
He's out.
He's not going out there. Huntley, at this point, has played so poorly this year. You really wonder if even Huntley is that much of an upgrade over Anthony Brown. Which is a shame because I really thought that Huntley was going to take the next step this year
Guilty.
and actually make the Ravens consider not re-signing Lamar. Now,
Pleading guilty.
now I don't think they have any choice but to re-sign Lamar, and I think it's going to bite them in the butt. But anyways, that's a whole other conversation for the offseason. I really think that we could look at this as can the Ravens score?
No. Well, J.K. Dobbins is good.
Not if the whole world knows it's just him.
I don't know. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the worst part is this line was like 5.5 like 3 days ago.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, why?
It's moved. Well, why? Because they've gone from Lamar to Huntley to Anthony Brown. Like, we were pretty sure Lamar wasn't going to play, but
he's only 5 points of difference, though. I don't know about that.
5 points in a betting
from Anthony Brown to Lamar. That's kind of seemed like Bengals might be the better team.
The Bengals were the better team already to begin with,
but they lost 19-17 early in the season against the Ravens.
Yeah, teams lose. Lamar. I mean, remember the Bengals started out like what 0-2 or 1-3, and things happen. You know, I mean, like this season has so many ebbs and flows. Baltimore just caught them at the right time. I mean, you just never know. If it was a fully healthy matchup, this game would be 1.5, 2. You know,
I think Ravens would win.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. It would definitely be a sort of a coin flip, but right now, this is a tough one too. I mean, these games are handicapped pretty well. I'd probably lean towards Cincinnati if it's Anthony Brown.
Too, yeah.
But I think I'm curious if Anthony Brown is officially listed, if this thing goes up 2-3 more points.
That would be more believable. And you're right; these games are very well handicapped. We don't make those lines. Reason for that. Let's go and do the last game because we're losing time here. Is that cool with you?
Yep.
Monday Night Football. Joe Buck here alongside Troy. You want me Troy? Or you want me Joe?
Well, since you do most of the play-by-play and the breakdown, I'll be Troy Aikman.
Let's do our best impression for like the first 5 seconds, and then we'll stop doing that. Well, the Cowboys are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Troy, you played in Dallas.
I did. Dallas is a disgrace. It's a shell of itself when the big three, myself, Emmett, and Michael were there. You know, now they've got these fairy fancy pants. Oh, you can't say fairy? Okay. You can't say fairy anymore. So they got these. I remember he said something that got him in hot water. Oh,
it was close.
He told the NFL to take their skirts off when they were
that was good.
reviewing the roughing the passer. But yeah, so he's not the most politically correct guy, which is fine with me. But
okay.
You know, Tampa Bay has had Dallas's number the last 2 years. I mean, the opening game both years, Tampa Bay has controlled Dallas. You know, so. I love Dak Prescott. I crowned him this year. It blew up in my face. I'm not going to go against my Bucs at home. So, although this isn't a super confidence pick, I think I'm going to take Tampa plus 2.5.
Aaron, I was going to pick the Cowboys. Dak has had a horrible year, dude.
I don't know if he has had a horrible year, but he's had
QBR. Let me get to my stats here. I have it. Should be my pinned tweet here.
It was close to 50, wasn't it?
Yeah. Here it is. He was 12th in the league, 58.3. But if you're telling me Brady's a 52.6, that's not that much of a drop. Like Bucs are going to win this game because Bucs have the more consistent defense. If you can tell me all the Bucs have to do is game plan to stop Micah Parsons and Tom Brady has time to throw, yeah, give me the Bucs. I've seen multiple games this year where I think Micah could not turn it on because teams just said, "No, this ain't happening today." He's really good, but he's game planned for easily.
The catalyst is more DeMarcus Lawrence. If DeMarcus Lawrence is a disruptor, then that means Micah Parsons is not getting double teamed. So, this game is interesting. Like I said, both teams have the ability to win this game. I'll take the advantage of having home field and having a quarterback with tons of experience. Now, has he played well this year? No, not really. But I'll take him in a spot. I'm going to live and die by being in Tom Brady's corner.
All right, Skip Bayless.
It's my turn.
Right.
It's my turn to speak.
Have you seen the guy who imitates him on Twitter?
Yeah, he says the same thing every time.
It looks just like him, which is even
he
horrible.
was funny out the gate. He's become less funny now, but he was the initial reaction of it was pretty funny.
Right. How about the worst quarterback in terms of QBR and rankings? Kirk Cousins actually was worse than Tom Brady and everyone else at 49.8.
Do you remember when we had that conversation? I think me, you, and Sammy through text message
That was last
about
night.
how much Kirk Cousins had carried this team or something.
Yeah!
And I was like, I think they're winning kind of almost in spite of Kirk Cousins.
You did say
Like,
that.
He hasn't elevated the game, and I think Sammy and I disagreed on that, and I think stats backed me up. Which, no disrespect to Sammy, most of the time,
Oh, Sammy's a genius. Yeah, he's pretty
in a
good.
conversation with me and Sammy, stats are usually going to favor him. I'm more of a gut or a feel guy, but
Well, that's because we are the guys.
we got the guts. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So, yeah, Kirk Cousins he's going to have to shake the narrative, or he's always going to be the guy who chokes in the big games. I don't think this is the one he chokes in. So we'll have to see what happens next week too. But yeah, I think we're looking at a fun wild card weekend here. Which we do every week. I think there's going to be an upset. I don't know where it comes from because
Giants.
all of the it could be. I mean, you look at the two games where the upsets could come from because technically the Jags winning is an upset by betting standards,
which is insane. And so is Tampa.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, I guess that would be an upset too. It's a weird wild card weekend. They should just call it weird wild card
That's
weekend,
good.
not super wild card weekend.
Yeah, they're not especially not this one. That's a good point.
Some of these matchups just don't look entertaining to me.
Brock Purdy would be 5th if he had qualified of these quarterbacks, but he had a 65.6, but it wasn't like, it qualified for anything special. But it would still be top 5 of these 14 quarterbacks. Tua isn't playing, so neither is Lamar. So that means Skylar Thompson in 7 games played and 2 games started had a QBR of 27.3. God. Anthony Brown, he didn't have enough didn't throw enough to have QBR, so he was 22 of 49, which is less than 50%, for 302 yards, 2 interceptions, and no touchdowns on the ground or in the air.
Go Bengals.
Good God. Oh, whoa. Watch your mouth. Super Bowl pick. Good Lord, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Super Bowl pick. This one was really tough for me. I think in the AFC or in the NFC, I think it's the 49ers. If they're playing on all cylinders, I think they're the best. Brock Purdy is the key. I mean, you got to give him his flowers right now. He's played pretty much perfectly. He's done exactly what's asked of him. He's made throws at the right time. He's got a great arm. I like watching him throw the ball. As far as the AFC goes, are you ready for this?
So originally, I know you said Chiefs. I know you've said it for a couple months. Like you say, you don't bet against Mahomes, but I'm interested. I'm very interested to hear this.
So my Super Bowl pick in the AFC is going to be the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I thought you would go there.
And the only reason I'm okay with that is because I feel they're going to get to the AFC Championship, and I think with it being in Atlanta, I think first of all I think all bets are off. But the Bills, I don't know, something's going to click with them, and I feel like this DeMar Hamlin story is going to all of a sudden start snowballing. The NFL loves storylines.
I would throw up.
Well, I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl because of DeMar Hamlin's storyline, but I'm saying the more they roll, the bigger that snowball gets with the DeMar Hamlin story. So, yeah, I'm going to say it's San Francisco versus Buffalo in the Super Bowl. Those are my picks.
Who wins?
Buffalo.
Okay. Disagree. I got 49ers.
I figured you would.
But I consider Buccaneers and Bills. I did not consider that. I thought it was a sweet little 30-1 NFL narrative Vegas bet. But you
didn't consider the Bucs. Shut up.
I did not at all. I think they're going to get blasted by San Fran in the second round. But anyways, I believe 49ers are coming out the NFC. Their defense is good enough to shut down whatever the crap the Eagles are doing. even if Jalen Hurts is healthy, I do not see Hurts overcoming that defense. Defense wins championships in the end, and we have seen that quite a few times. I also would like to say I don't believe in the Vikings. I do not believe in the Cowboys. Cowboys are like one I considered, but Dak was horrible this year. I'm in the AFC, like you say, it's so tough. For me, it's not. For me, I have the best quarterback, the best offensive mind. I've got a defense that is still coached by Steve Spagnuolo, who can still do some numbers. And I've got a run game, which, as I said, they were trying to make a key factor. How about 4 rushing touchdowns in Week 18? Just to show the league and the postseason matchups, hey, we're not just about Mahomes. Give the Chiefs to not only make it and go through KC, you're the Chiefs to beat the 49ers again.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, the Chiefs are strong, and I think they're obviously the hunted, but we'll have to see. I mean, there's a definitely upper echelon type team. I mean, I think the Eagles are going to be a tough out for San Francisco, but yeah, I mean, I think we're on a crash course for Bills, Chiefs, again, the three-peat, I guess, or the rematch or whatever. But yeah, don't oversleep on the Chiefs. They're the top team in the league. Yeah, and I know I give them crap because of the whole canceled game, and Buffalo should have the number 1 seed, but they won 13 games as well. So let's not dump too much on them.
I also believe I almost want to take it back and say the 49ers, but I would have to bank on Brock Purdy pretty hard. And I don't want to do. I can't do that. I can't. If it had been like, I don't even know if it had been even Jimmy G. I don't know if I picked the Chiefs. But man, something tells me that just somehow that someone's going to have him figured out just a little bit. But I think 49ers are like the best team. But I think Chiefs overcome Brock Purdy is what I'll get at here.
I'll finish my rant here with this. If Brock Purdy leads the 49ers to the NFC Championship or better, Kyle Shanahan's got a lot to think about in the offseason.
Yeah, that's very true. I can honestly see him going on a Super Bowl MVP run. I'm not kidding about that. I have thought about that very hard. But again, it came down to quarterback to me. That was it. Well,
if he wins the Super Bowl and MVP, you got to pick up the phone tomorrow and find out who wants Trey Lance.
Who wants Trey? Jimmy? Hey, what's going on? Sorry. Hey, Jimmy. Bye, Jimmy. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So should be a fun playoffs. I mean, the NFL always is a fun playoff. I mean, there's so many good storylines to root for. You want Jacksonville. Kirk Cousins. Can he break the primetime stereotypes? No. I know you're rooting for Daniel Jones. You have your big guys. Your Joe Burrows, your Josh Allen, your Pat Mahomes. So NFL's in a good spot.
Happy Friday Football Frenzy to you, sir.
And right back at you, sir. I hope that you enjoy your Friday Football Frenzy weekend.
It's going to be fun. I have NLL to watch tonight as well.
Well, there you go. Enjoy it. Well, we hope you also enjoy your Friday Football Frenzy and your Super Wild Card weekend. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials. Shop our shop at MikeandAaronDrive.com. Visit the sponsors also there. And, of course, our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button and like all of the videos. It sure helps us out tremendously. So until Monday, when you see Mike paired up with Sammy Action to recap this Super Wild Card weekend, I am Aaron Crouch saying enjoy the football games, and we'll see you guys another time.